geeks, gamers, and everything in between? It's Kiku, and we here at Geeks Gamers are having a blasty blast celebrating Star Wars Celebration Weekend. In fact, some of our members are even down in Orlando, living it up, getting to see things live, getting hate mail and some death threats from some of us on staff. But of course, with Star Wars Celebration comes a bunch of panels and a bunch of celebrities that we get to see, and of course, the release of the trailer for this. Shown earlier to a crowd at Star Wars Celebration, and then right afterwards immediately uploaded to the internet, we have had a chance to react to it, including our own Mad Geek Queen of England, Carolyn Precious, on the channel. Check it out if you haven't. And we've got so many questions just boggling our mind because it is a teaser trailer. It doesn't say much, but it does say a lot, including some things that it doesn't say. Why weren't they there? So, I thought I would take a minute to break down the trailer. Now, I'm not going to show the trailer because there's a lot of just stuff there, right? Like, do we really need to sit here together and go, space battle? Or, pew pew pew, there go the lasers. We don't. There's a couple of integral scenes in the trailer and some voiceover work that is really important for us to be pointing out. So with that, let's get started. And like most teaser trailers for big blockbuster films, it appears to look like it starts off with a wide-angle shot of an area coming down from space. But in reality, it's the ground, and then you see Rey's hand slap down like she's going through some stress coming out of a cave. Possibly alluding to another cave scene like Empire Strikes Back, where she has to face her dark side, or the possibility of being seduced by it. What's really important is the voiceover work that's going on through these first couple of scenes. It's Luke Skywalker talking to Rey, and he talks about, what did you see? Again, most likely alluding to a cave scene. And she says she saw light and darkness. And the key point here to remember is that Luke says it's so much more than that. Keep that in mind because later on in this video, we're going to come back to that point. So, after that, we see a lot of scenes of Rey herself, one scene of Poe Dameron running, and then one scene of Finn in what looks to be a healing tube, still in a coma. And that's all that we get to see. And this is one of those parts where it's saying a lot without saying anything at all. Because we all know Finn is going to come out of that wielding dual lights. Turn on. Turn on. I swear to God, this has never happened to me before. Other than Rey, the other two principal characters, Finn and Poe, have only those two scenes, which actually does say a lot. It means they're trying to give away absolutely nothing of what they're going to be doing, which means they're probably going to go through some huge character development. I can't wait for that. The next crucial bit of information you can glean from the trailer are from these next 3 screenshots. These are actually from the trailer, and they show 2 images from The Last Jedi and one from The Force Awakens. This is what appears to be a hooded figure next to R2-D2 with a burning building in front of it, and through the flames it looks like Captain Phasma and a whole platoon of stormtroopers are coming through the flames to destroy something. Now, if you remember the vision Rey had from The Force Awakens, they showed a scene where a metallic hand man, most likely Luke, was touching R2-D2 and there were burning embers around it. And as you can see from this picture, it's most likely the same thing. So, what we're most likely experiencing here is either a Force stream, like we saw Luke have in Empire Strikes Back, or it's a flashback vision that Rey had. I'm leaning a little bit more towards the flashback at this point, mainly because we didn't get to see a full scene of what actually happened when the Knights of Ren destroyed Luke's burgeoning Jedi temple, pretty much. So I'm pretty sure that this has something to do with it, because that house is nowhere to be seen on the island from what we've been shown where Luke is hidden away. The next integral sequence of scenes, even though they're kind of scattered throughout the trailer, is from the new planet, the mining planet of Crate. Do they call it Crate because it's holding what miners are looking for? Oh, that was a bad joke. I shouldn't have left that in there. That is such a bad joke. So the next three stills I'm going to show you are actually scattered throughout the trailer, but I think I've managed to actually connect them into my own theory for what they could mean. So this first image is of Crate on top of Crate, with the speeders racing across the desert, kicking up that really cool red sand. Now, I want to establish this shot because it's an arid environment. So when we move to the second shot, what looks to be like a vault in a cavern, or I don't know, someplace that somebody hid something and you needed force fly to get to it. Is force fly a thing? Anyway, it looks old and like something is hidden there. So when we move to this third shot, and it's the hand touching the Jedi symbol on what looks to be an old parchment, the conclusion that I'm drawing from this is that maybe Crate is actually on top of an old Jedi archive or temple, telling a much bigger story and a much more in-depth story about the Jedi, the Force, and the Sith than we've known throughout these movies. Rewinding back to what Luke said to Rey when she said, "I saw light and darkness," and he said it's much bigger than that, that's actually where the information might be to explain that. And it would make sense of, why are we going to Crate anyway? What's on there? Maybe it's a hidden Jedi temple. Or maybe it's the hidden Lost Temple, that game show that the thing ate the kids and they sued. And then we get to this scene. It's time for the Jedi to end, and the internet exploded, and minds went pa-choo, pa-choo, and one person said that line was lame, and now I can't love that person anymore. Because of that line, theory and speculation has been running rampant across the internet, and I've seen a bunch of theories, both kind of out there, and some that hit kind of close to my own personal theory. So I thought, hey, let's end this video with a bunch of wild speculation and theorem. I mean, in reality, who knows? Maybe it's just, Luke being kind of sad. If you think about it, all the stuff he's been through, and he's been in that cave for so many decades, maybe he just had a case of the blues that no prescription to Space Zoloft would cure. But it would be a misdirect, and it would be kind of bad of a misdirect, considering that that line is quickly becoming one of the most memorable Star Wars lines of all time. Now, the first theory I do want to touch on is one that's actually been pretty popular and started from The Force Awakens, actually probably a little bit before The Force Awakens, which is the concept that Luke Skywalker is going to go to the dark side. If your father didn't give you hugs, you would go to the dark side too! Luke Skywalker being a bad guy, well, a kind of cool idea, would make the plot of The Last Jedi extremely convoluted. You're telling me we've got to deal with stuff like Rey finally learning how to be a Jedi, all the stuff with Kylo Ren, all the stuff with the First Order. Is Finn going to come out of a coma? Why is Poe Dameron running and his ship getting blown up? And all this other stuff only to have Luke go to the dark side, and why? They don't want to Hawkeye him. I mean, in the first Avengers movie, Hawkeye was a bad guy the whole time. We only got to see Luke for 4 seconds in The Force Awakens, and then you're going to make him a bad guy in the time that we actually do get to see him? No, it's not going to happen. So I want to focus on my own personal theory. Now, a lot of other theories that I've seen online and in the Geeks Gamers community have kind of touched on it, but haven't gone to the level that I have. Now, I've been thinking about this all day, and I've watched the trailer a whole bunch of times. And, of course, if you remember at the beginning of this video, I told you to remember the voiceover, and I showed you very specific scenes. Now, the reason that I did that is because I feel that Luke Skywalker believes that the Jedi need to end, and something new needs to begin. Bear with me for a second. What if Luke Skywalker found information that kind of blew open the doors on everything that he knew, and possibly everything that the Jedi knew at the time? If you remember from The Force Awakens, there's a map following where Luke went. Now, what was Luke searching for? Nobody knows. And most likely we're going to find out in The Last Jedi. And if you remember those scenes that I showed you from Crate, of that cavern with the vault kind of look to it, and then the hand touching the old battered Jedi symbol, what if that information shows a much bigger war being waged than just the concepts of light and dark, of Sith and Jedi? So maybe he wants to end the Jedi because it needs to go above and beyond that. It needs to become something different. So maybe Luke feels that the Jedi Order, the Jedi way is just not good enough anymore. Now, a lot of people have pointed out, well, maybe he's going to live in a gray zone. And you know what? Yes, I believe that's the way that they're going to go. I'm not going to call it gray Jedi, though, because it just doesn't make any sense. I think they're going to abolish all of that, and that Jedi are going to be just good or bad, and they're going to kind of float in the middle, because that's the real world. It's a lot of gray area. It's not black and white all the time. The gray area? I exist in the gray area. No, really, I do. I do a lot of stuff that kind of questionable. So in conclusion of my theory, pretty much all of Star Wars has been about one thing ending and a new thing beginning. It happened with the Jedi Order, the Skywalkers, all of it. So when it comes to this, and he says, this is the time for the Jedi to end, it is. The Jedi have been over and done with, and now it's time for something new. Something that maybe Luke has taught himself and is passing along to Rey. Something that uses love to strengthen oneself, and uses rage to make you fight better. Who knows? But it's in the gray area. So, to everyone out there who thinks, oh my god, no more Jedi, in episode 9, everyone's gonna die, it's not gonna happen. Just not. We're looking at something brand spanking new that's gonna come out, that's gonna be wholly the creators of this new trilogies. And that is gonna be fantastic. Now, if you disagree with me or have your own theory, put it down in the comment section. Let's talk about this. Let's debate about it. Throw me some things that you've read or saw in the trailer that I absolutely missed. I don't care. Let's argue. Let's have a good time. It's Star Wars. It is a cultural phenomenon close to a religion. As always, please don't forget to like and share, and check out all the other stuff on our YouTube channel, including the reaction that I mentioned before by Carolyn Precious, our Mad Geek Queen of England, and of course the upcoming Super News where she'll delve deeper into all of this stuff. Also check out We Are Geek and anything else that might suit your fancy. Come join us on Facebook at Geeks Gamer Discussion Group, and also go to the website and register, geeksgamers.com, because if you register for the website, you've got a chance to win free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff? I once won a pair of free underwear. Slightly used. Anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed the trailer. Once again, hit me up in the comments. Keep it geekin', and I will see you on December 15th, freaking out when the title crawl starts.